Thank you so much for joining us for another in our series of Story to Tell. Today we have with us Mrs. Sharon Richards, and she'll be sharing her journey with us. Auntie Sharon, thanks for joining us. We're just gonna get quick into it. I know you have a lot to say. Let's start from your early years. Where were you born?
I was born in the parish of Kingston.
So what's your mom's and dad's name?
My mother's name was Etta Gray.
Mm-hmm.
My father's name is Bernal Spencer.
Okay, so they had other siblings.
Yes, I have one brother and two sisters.
Sister, where you fall in there? You're the middle one or the last one?
I'm the first of the
You're the first.
four.
So you had all the responsibilities. What are the siblings' name?
Roy,
Mm-hmm.
Opie,
Mm-hmm.
Paul,
Mm-hmm.
and myself.
And yourself, Sharon. Okay, so you're born in Kingston. Where were you living as a little child?
Rockford.
Rockford.
Kingston.
Okay, so what school you went to?
I went to a basic school
Mhm.
in the community, and then I went to the primary school in the community too.
What's the name of it? Is it
Renner Lodge.
Rennock Lodge? Okay. We
Primary.
know that primary school. So how were you as a little girl growing up? You were quiet or very outspoken or
No, I was reserved.
reserved? So the children used to take set on you at school and think you're soft,
Not quite. Not quite.
not quiet.
No.
But
But if they try to bully me, I would go home and tell my father, and he would
oh,
meet me at school because I never liked to fight.
oh, okay.
So, when anything like that, and I become afraid,
Mhm,
my father would come and meet me or my mother.
mhm.
But I
So,
never liked fight.
so your other siblings went to Rennock Lodge,
Yes.
so I never just complained to them. And
They're
since
younger than me, so I'm supposed to take care of them.
oh, so you never bring them into this thing. Okay, that makes sense. It makes sense. So after you left Rennock Lodge school, which school you went to?
Well, my mother and father separated.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were sent off to St. Elizabeth
Mm-hmm.
to spend supposedly the summer with our grandparents,
Yes.
which turned out to be 3.5 years.
Wow. One summer turned into 3 years.
And so we went to we went to the Springfield All Age School in St. Elizabeth. And after 3.5 years, we returned to our mother in Kingston.
So it's because of the separation why they
My mother sent us to her mother.
to her. So how was it living in the country?
Well, it was rough.
Yeah, because you're not used to some of those lifestyles.
Some things we were not accustomed to.
Yes.
And so it was rough until we gradually work into it, but
You had to carry water and all those things.
oh yes, we carry water, which is at first it was difficult.
Yeah.
But as I say, you get used to it.
Yes.
And going into the farm with my
Yes.
grandparents and so on. And church was a must. And family altar was a must in my grandmother's house. So we'd get up in the morning. She had family devotion morning and evening. So that was a part of our life. We go up to pray every morning, every night. So it was very good then.
So when you were living with your parents in Kingston, you used to go to church at that time?
Sunday school.
On a Sunday school?
Or Sunday school. 3 o'clock every Sunday afternoon, we'd go to the community church for Sunday school. But that's as far as church was concerned.
So your parents sent you or they come as well? They just
I
sent
was
them.
just walking distance from the house.
So they weren't Christians none
No.
at all? None at all?
No.
But when you go to grandma now, she was a Christian and
She was
get more godly influence that way.
right.
So you probably think, looking back now, probably that's a good thing that you went down there.
Yes, I think so. The foundation was laid. She gave us a heart for God, and taught us how to pray. We had to read the word. Each of us had to read and pray individually. Once you can talk, she teach us to pray.
Pray, okay.
So we had the fear for God. She gave us a fear for God.
So after the 3.5 years, you came back to Kingston?
Yes. We came back to Kingston and was living at Rockford. And we would go to church But there is a lady who lived in the same yard that we were living in when we came back from the country. And she was a evangelist of 111 Windward Road. So she heard me praying, you know, and she asked my mother if I could go to church with her. And she came and asked me, and I said, yes, I would go. Because every Sunday I'm used to going to church. And so
you were playing out loud and she heard you?
Yes, she hear me because, so the room them close.
Yes, yes.
So she hear me praying. So my grandmother teach me to pray morning and evening, so I did that.
Yes.
And she hear me and she asked. And so my mother said yes, and we went to church with her. That was where I was exposed to Pentecost. She was a Pentecostal. And we would go with her to church on a Sunday. And then I wanted to get baptized.
Yes.
But my mother wouldn't allow it. My mother wouldn't allow it.
She probably think you're too young.
I suppose so. So a few years rolled off. Sundays we would get up early. We go to the beach. And when we come back, my father would go in the kitchen and my mother would tidy up house. So after we finished all of that now, 12 o'clock, we have a program on the radio that called Uncle Clive. And so we would listen to Uncle Clive at 12 o'clock each Sunday. And after we're done Uncle Clive, we go sleep and wake up for church, for Sunday school.
Because in the afternoon, it starts 3 o'clock.
Right. So this particular Sunday, just as we were listening to Uncle Clive, we hear a knocking at the gate. And when I looked through the window, I saw two men at the gate, dressed for church. So I told my mother that two men at the gate like them going to church. And she invited them in. And so they invited us to Wildman Street, introduced themselves and invited us to Wildman Street. They were having youth week. And so she told them which night she could go. She said Thursday night. So they came for us. And that was the Thursday night. And we went. And we went it so late. The preacher was almost finishing. Because just as we sit, them start give altar call.
Very late.
Yes, so late. But I had a heart for God. And there was that crying. So going to the church, they touched me on the shoulder and asked me if I would like to go to the altar. And I said yes. And I went to the altar that night. And that night the Lord filled me with the Holy Ghost.
How old were you at that time?
I was about 12 plus, almost 13. And so I was baptized that very night.
Same night.
And
so your mother had gone to the service as she sent you?
We couldn't go without her.
So
she was there.
So she allowed you to get baptized this time?
Yes. I don't know. The Lord fixed it.
Whoa.
And then the following night, which was a Friday night, she got the Holy Ghost.
What?
But she never go any further. And then the following Wednesday night, my sister got the Holy Ghost. For the three of us, but my father didn't.
He didn't show up?
Never go to church.
Probably afraid.
Only go to funeral.
So you got saved at Pentab. So you started to go to that church now every Sunday.
Yeah.
So they have their start the same time or their Sunday school?
Sunday school at Pentab at the time start 9:30.
9:30. So it's a different thing now from the 3 o'clock.
Yes.
Yes.
So we go to 9:30 and worship, morning worship. And then in the evening, they had a branch work in Renner Lodge. So that would start Sunday school about 4 o'clock in the evening.
So you got 2 Sunday schools in one day?
And then night service.
Yes.
So in the afternoon, I would go Renner Lodge for Sunday school and night service. And that lasted until they bought a place in Rockfort and settled at that.
Okay. So you're going to Renaclag all age, and what age you left at that school?
Maybe about 8, 9.
8, 9.
Mm.
And did you go to any other schools after that?
Yeah, man. When I was grandmother with 3.5 years, when I forgot school. So we went to Springfield all age.
When you came back, I know you went to school in St. Elizabeth. When you come back to town, what school?
Yes,
you
a
didn't go back
private
to Renat?
school.
Oh,
No,
okay.
because I went to, my mother get me into a private school, you know, and we'll go there until we leave school. And we never have much time left.
Do you remember the name of the school now? Still around?
No, it's not around anymore. It was a 7-day private school. I don't remember what was the name of that school. So long.
So you know why she opted to send it to a private school versus a public school?
It was like January.
Oh.
You know? So I don't
And
know.
they wouldn't accept you.
I don't know what was it, but
yeah.
I don't know what happened. Why?
Okay, so that was the last school that you went to. And when you left there, you started to work?
Yes, I started to work at 15.
15?
Yes, my first job when I was 15 at a restaurant. I remember when I went the morning and the lady interviewed me, she said,
they should still be in school.
She should be in school.
Exactly, I agree.
and the man who got the work for me, he was a supervisor too. And said, she young and strong, try hard.
Yeah.
And that was it.
15.
Yep.
So you used to cash or you serve or you help with the cooking?
No, man. Serve and clean up. So
they had a dining area?
Yes, man. It's a restaurant. We're fortified. So you had different segments. But I never cook. But to tidy up and will help serve. After a while, they let me cash. You know, when new people come in, you get promotion. So I became a cashier.
Wow, you move up the ranks.
Yes. And I did that until I left that place.
Well, how long you stayed there?
Not quite sure. But a number of years. From one side to the other, because it is 2 restaurants on the road. The one. So I was at 93 and then I moved over to 94. And both of them were the same. So I worked there until I got married. So after I got married, I left. I stopped working in restaurant.
You move up again, get another promotion.
Oh, yes.
So I hear talking about marriage now. Tell us how you met your husband. I see you smiling. Seems like it's a very memorable experience.
My co-worker went off on maternity leave.
Yes.
And so she was running a partner. She asked me to collect the money. She was also a church sister. She asked me to collect the partner money on a Friday evening and bring it up for her. So the first evening, that Friday evening, I went to her house, knocked on the gate. This young man came out and I told him what I was about. And he let me in and told me that she should be with me. And so I was there. When I realized is her brother-in-law. But what got me curious, he was using the machine, sewing machine, sewing curtain. And it was strange to see a man sewing curtain.
That's not the norm,
No. So I stood there watching him until his sister-in-law came out and we, you know. And after that, I realized him got saved after that. And was coming to Wyman Street. So we just meet him around his sister-in-law. We just start talking to him as a church brother, not really. Because I always said, I am not getting married. My mother and father separated. And that was devastated to me. So I said I would never get married. But it seems as if.
So the young man is your husband?
He's my husband now.
So you said he's his brother?
I went to his brother's house.
Oh, it's his brother, but his brother was already married. Okay.
So
Okay,
I
get
went
it.
to his sister-in-law. So we first met, and then we see each other at church. And I suppose we became friends, not with the intention of getting, not to me, the intention to get married.
So you don't. So you're not getting married already.
Out of the question.
Out of it.
So I can't even tell you what he said to me because I block it all the time.
So is it that he brought it up in conversation some of the times and you just
No,
discourage him? He
his
didn't bring it up.
friend, he had a friend who came to me and said, I am going to get married to a minister and I'm going to work in the bush. So I said, I'm not going to marry to them and I'm not going to no bush. Because we never want experience every experience. I said Elizabeth again.
Yes.
So I said no. And I probably said to him, I am going to college.
Yes.
And when I'm finished, I'm going to Bible school. So I don't have no time for no. But in those days, you're traveling groups, not like now.
Yes.
When you're going on church trip, it's groups and so on. And so we will, when Port Royal work started, we used to go over and help. And one evening, while we were at the pier waiting for the boat, he came and he was going the same direction we going. So I think it started from there. So friendship started to develop. So
at what point you realize it started to get serious? Like this man looked like he's showing interest.
My girlfriend Sharon.
Sharon like yourself.
I call her my twin.
Yes.
She's more sensitive and alert than I am. So she
pick up on it.
Yes, and she would say things and do things. So we always, him always in the company of us, you know.
Yeah.
And Sharon, when we're going out as a group, like 4 of us. Yes. He had his friend Alfred, and I have Sharon, so we'd go out as a group. We never go alone because we were warned. Yes. So we never travel alone. And so it started from like a friend till
it matured. He proposed. So what that mean he proposed to you? Because with that mindset that you had before, did you tell him you're gonna think about it, or you said no and he checked back another time, or how that work?
No, but just tell him yes.
So what about you not wanting to get married?
I don't know what happened.
It break down that barrier.
It seems so after, you know.
So what qualities you saw in him that make you think that this person is a decent individual?
I always said I wanted a Christian husband. If I do get married, I wanted a Christian husband. A person who loved God, as I didn't want to experience what my mother went through. And so I wanted a Christian husband. I had a Sunday school teacher who had put so much in me and she didn't know. She always tell us that anytime we come to church and we see groups, if they are not talking about the Lord, we must keep company with them.
Yes.
And so she said, look at those people who used to come to church and pray and read their Bible. Those are healthy company. And so I would admire when I do see him, because I hardly see him when I go to church, but you will find him either in the prayer room or somewhere. You never see him idle.
So it seemed like he had a genuine love for God.
So it seems so.
So that is one of the things that
was one of the landmarks.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So what age you got married?
Wow, 21.
21. So you were living on your own at that time, or are you still living with your mom?
When we got married?
Yes.
No. I was living with my sister. And then things got rough and I went on my own.
Went on your own.
So when we got married, I was really on my own.
So 21.
At 21, miserable days. Because I'm not accustomed to being on my own.
Yes.
So it took me a while to settle. But shortly after that, I got married.
So you spoke to your mom about it, or?
Yeah, I talked to mother and father about it.
And what they said? seeing that you're 21, they think you're too young, or
They didn't
try to discourage you
they
or
didn't
nothing?
oppose it.
Mm-hmm.
No. My father said, I'm only glad that you're not going to live a concubinish life.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
That's your father said that.
Mm-hmm. You know, so that was it. But I got their blessings, both of them.
Okay, so tell us if you can remember your wedding day. Any memories that you have from that day? Any special?
My wedding day. Yes, my wedding day was, our wedding was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Afternoon wedding.
Yes, it was an afternoon wedding. And I think it was quite fulfilling. Never too much fanfare.
Yes.
Simple, elegant.
Just have not a big crowd, just a few good friends and family. It was big.
Bigger than I expected. But in those days,
Yes.
the little church at East Kingston,
Yes.
you invite everybody.
Okay.
So we invite everybody. Yes, that's fun. And then a few relatives on both sides and close friends. So when I reach a reception, I have more than I'm bargained for. But the Lord work it out.
And provide and for you guys and thing. So how long after you got married did you get your first child?
Quick.
Quick. Never waste any time.
2 years after.
That not so quick, man. That not so quick. Is that good enough time? Like,
yes, Kevin born when I was 23.
See, you had your first child is Kevin.
Yes.
You didn't tell us the name of your husband. You know you got married, but you don't know who you get married to.
I'm married to my charm. James Samuel Richards.
James Samuel Richards. Okay, so we got that. Yes. So your first child now is Kevin.
Kevin Samuel Richards.
Oh, so you get the same middle name. So tell us about that first pregnancy and coming to church as a new mother, and how is that experience?
Well, just motherhood. The process of the early stage was terrible. To be adjusted. And got over the sixth stage. Then after that it was okay until nine months. And then Kevin born and motherhood. But let me tell you something, Lestine. I rode on a bike for 9 months.
What you saying?
My husband had a bike.
Oh, he had a bike?
Yes. And I rode on the bike. I was afraid of it at first when he just came home with it.
So it's after you get married, you got the bike? Or
yes.
Before? Okay.
And then I get accustomed to it. Till I could ride and don't have to hold on to him,
Could balance up.
I could balance up. And I remember the Friday morning, I was going to clinic at Jubilee. And he took me down the morning. And the nurse said, you're not going home back. So, yeah, I forgot to tell them to bring your things.
Yes.
Well, he came for me tell you. And Kevin born, that was Friday, Kevin born Sunday.
So long, there was a long labor.
And then I feel no pain. Them say me not labor, me never feel no
pain. They never think it was coming at that time, but he came. So
he came the Sunday. Maybe if it's no, me not go home. But Kevin came and it was our pride and joy. And then Andrew came.
How long after? A year?
2 years after.
Okay, 2 years after.
And then Dave came a year after.
A year. So the 2 year first and then 1 year.
So we have 3 boys.
3 boys.
No men. And we are grandparents.
So at any time you had any idea that you would try to get a girl, or?
With Andrew.
You tried?
I thought Andrew would be a girl.
Why?
Maybe how I felt. And he just...
So was there facility to do ultrasound and those things? No.
with Dave, but me never got to know.
Yeah.
But in those days, they never have that facilities.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, based on how I was feeling, I never sick like Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
yes, I think this is a new.
yes,
Yes, it must be a girl.
and so I thought I shopped for a girl.
Really? You were very confident.
But my husband would come home and say, what a catastrophe.
If you plan for girl and boy come. Mm-hmm. And so said, so done.
Come home and said, what a catastrophe.
Yeah.
And I just smiled.
Mm-hmm.
But then, when I give birth and they took up the baby, I see him look like Kevin. And I said, and the nurse and doctor, they were there doing their thing, but I want to see what kind of baby. So after all, I said, but the mother don't know what kind of baby she have. We don't see.
Yeah.
But I just love the little baby, just red and big. And so we just...
So what you do with all of those girls stuff?
The colors that boy could wear, I put it on him.
What are those colors? You never buy no pink. Had some red and some.
Yeah, I did buy pink. Yeah, man.
But those they couldn't put that on it. No.
Some put on
Daddy
the blue,
wouldn't allow that.
The blue and the yellow.
And the yellow.
And the white.
But they never made that mistake for the third one. They waited first. And then when
you buy colors that anyone can
some
wear.
neutral. Okay, so you learn your lesson that time now. So you now have 3 boys. How was it growing up, the 3 of them?
Wow, very exciting. Because everybody doing their own thing. They were too busy. Andrew said he's 10 speed, so he moved fast.
Yeah.
And so you have to be behind them. But it was exciting.
So they used to fight and all of those things they were well behaved.
They never really fight. But them
little squabbles and things, but not really fight.
No. But they was excited. Anything I'm doing, I do it with them. If I cooking, you try
to invite them in.
And yes. So everybody learn to do something.
So you send all of them to the same school?
Yes, I have to walk from here to Bridgeport, up the road here. It's a good journey. But I walk with them in the mornings. And the afternoon, I go to pick them up.
Yes.
And then when Kevin went over to the primary, I would go and meet these younger ones and waited until feed school finished and then walk until they were mature enough could
come home by this time.
Then by this time now, when Andrew to go over, they change the school because now Southborough School was now built. So when they start registering, I register them. So Kevin start over Southborough in grade 4, and Andrew start in grade 1.
So you're now in Portmore. We never get that part of it. How you got to live in this house at Portmore now?
We moved from Doncaster, where we were living originally when we got married. After I have Kevin, this friend of Daddy.
Who is Daddy?
My husband.
Okay, so that's your little name for him. So guys, when you hear she said Daddy is not her father, it's her husband. Yes.
Yes, his grandmother had a place to rent, with your own convenience in Vineyard Town. So he introduced him to it, and we moved from Doncaster to Vineyard Town. That's where at Wyman Street we have captains for the bench. In Sunday school, we
bench
have
captain.
Bench captain. And so the sister who was our captain lived on the same road. So she saw me and she asked me at church of Sunday, can we move like I think the Saturday? And she's asked me and she said, so I tell her yes. So she said, you live on my road, but you have to pass my house to go up. And then she said to me, there's another sister here that live on our road to you. And I said, yes. And she was waited right at the corner of North Street and Wyman Street. And the sister comes, so she said, she drives and she can give you a ride. So you sure she will give me a ride? And she said, yes. So we waited, and when Sister Fairclough came, she introduced me to Sister Fairclough and said I just moved on the avenue. And she said she told me so much in a short time. She told me that the lady worked at NHT. So I said, wow. So when she introduced me, I said, um, we're in Portmore, your organization building new houses. And she said, Cumberland.
Yes.
So I said to her, can you get a form for me? And she said, yes.
Yes.
And she brought the form the evening. And I didn't give Daddy to fill up. I fill it out, and give him the next morning to take to work.
Yes.
And he took it to work and get it signed up, and then bring it back, and she take it in. When they do what they have to do, he came home the Saturday evening with a star with his name circled, and said, guess what? Housing trust thing come out today.
So how long after the application was that?
Maybe some months.
Okay, so a couple months.
So I said, and your name come out. And he laughed and give me the star. That's how we got this house. You know, that time Andrew was 6 months.
Wow.
So we are here over 39 years. We are here over 39 years now. So that's how we end up here.
Okay, so Dave would have been born at this new
Dave
house.
born here.
At this new house. Okay. So after you had your children and things, will you go back to work, or you just opted to stay home?
When Dave was 15, I went back to work.
So before that, you would just stay and,
I was
take
a
care of them?
homemaker, yes. My husband don't believe in nursery. So once I started with Kevin, I couldn't work out again. So when Dave was 15, him released me. Him say him want look the job.
Yes.
And come home and tell me, I got to work for you.
Yes.
And so I went to work with my church brother, Mr. Mackenzie.
Yes.
And that lasted for 20 odd years.
Wow.
Until I resigned in 2022. April of 2022.
So looking after your children first, and rather than after school care and thing, you think that was more beneficial to them?
Yes, and it's more settling too. Because they know that when they come home from school, at least somebody is here to receive them and to guide them. So, and because of that, they were active in church. Because when they come home, anything at church involved them, I take them. So they were involved in church, choir, music, whatever, scouting, and so on. So they were full.
So going back out to work now, as after not being in the work environment for so many years, how did that feel, going back into the work environment?
Well, it never took me long to get readjusted. At first, I was not accustomed to Spanish town. So the hustle for the taxi was, but after a while, I get used to it. I know that I don't have to go west to get a taxi. I can go east and reach quicker. So when I get into the routine, it was sailing. Smooth sailing going on.
Smooth sailing. So your sons are now adults, and you say you have grandchildren.
Yeah.
Tell us the grandchildren name and tell us your favorite one. Just joking. Don't tell us that far. Don't tell us, because we don't want to get in trouble.
Well, we have 5 grandchildren. Andino, Ananias, Symphony, Judah, and Harmony.
5.
And 3 boys, 3 young men.
Yes.
And 3 daughter-in-laws. So that's the family.
Okay, so how is it being a grandmother now? I don't think you consider yourself old.
No, I'm not old. I'm just so 65. But I think I'm excited about my grandchildren.
So you spend a lot of time with them?
Especially Andina, because we took Andina when he was a year and 3 months. So he's more.
He spent
like
most of the
a,
time with you.
he's like a Benjamin.
Mm. Mm. So, looking back over your life, is there anything that you think that you would redo if you had a chance to change something? You would change up some that particular thing or two.
If I looking back now, if I had it to do all over again, I would want to serve the Lord, give my life totally to the Lord earlier. Like my boys, they got saved at 7 and 8. Some things I wouldn't want to repeat. You know, the roughness of growing up and
Yes.
so on.
Yes.
But when it come on to church,
Yes.
wow, I wouldn't change that for nothing. Nothing. The relationship, I learned to trust the Lord and He's pilot my way. And looking back now, I'm enjoying it. I'm excited to know that the Lord has been good. You know?
Okay.
My parents were apostolic.
Yes.
My mother was religious, but
Yes.
not an apostolic. And my grandmother, she was a city mission. The first person I hear speak in tongues is my grandmother.
Yes.
And, you know, we call it unknown tongue then. And so she gave me a heart for God. I love my grandmother. And
you're glad that you got that opportunity
Yes.
to spend that 3.5
Yes.
years with her.
Yes.
We're coming to a close now. What is one message that you'd want to leave for your grandchildren? If you want to give them individual messages, that's fine.
I would say to them, youth is the time to serve the Lord. Give your heart to the Lord wholeheartedly and put your head to your lesson and watch the Lord work in your lives.
And that message is applicable for all of them.
For all of them. You know, put the Lord first, as I keep on saying to Andina. Jesus plus education equals success.
Okay.
So God bless you. I love them.
So you're now retired, you said. So you're back at home again. The stamping ground that you're used to over the years. So what do you do in your spare time?
Well, I read.
You read a lot.
I read. And I have my daily devotions. And that's why I was wondering if you're coming before 12 o'clock or 12 o'clock. It's a special time for me. And I go out and visit the shut-ins.
Yes.
And so on. I do church work.
And the church work. So how long have you been married?
I'm married for 43 years.
Yes, and your anniversary was recently?
The 14th of February.
Yes, Valentine's Day you got married?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you never tell me that, man. I'm just finding that out now.
Oh, yeah.
Why you decided to get married on Valentine's Day? You know that gonna cut down your gift now. It's one gift you're gonna get, for Valentine's and anniversary. You never think about that?
I never think about any gift. I get the best gift. You know, to be honest, we did not plan for February 14th. We're planning to get married in January. My mother's friend said to me, why are you married in January? It's a tough month. But they never understand what she thought about tough month.
Yeah.
So I said to James, when you go to settle the date with pastor, choose 2 weeks later.
Let's put it off a little.
Yeah, and the 2 weeks fall on Valentine's
Day.
So it's after we decided that I was passing a store downtown and I saw a card, Valentine's Day. So I was wondering, what kind of day that? I never heard that day before.
Seriously?
No.
All the years growing up, 21?
Never hear what no Valentine's. In that so much that we never planned a Valentine's.
Yeah, it just happened that it happened to be a wedding day the same.
So when I took the invitation to my boss and she was reading it, a coworker said, Miss Spence, you getting married on Valentine's Day? I'm going to just say yes, but we never know a thing was that side. But
it just worked coincidentally, it happened to be Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming down to a close now. Tell us your favorite color and your favorite food.
My favorite color is sky blue, and my favorite food is stew peas.
Stew peas. You like when other people cook it or only when you cook it?
It depends on who cook it.
Some people not cook it so good.
Some people eat too salt.
So you eat it with white rice or rice and peas? Some people like it with rice and peas.
White rice.
White rice.
No, I most vegetable, so
Vegetable. Okay.
less rice.
So I know you have 3 sons and we're gonna use that to close. What message you'd want to give them? I want you to give each of them an individual message. You can't give all of them the same message like the grandchildren because you know them longer time than that. So in closing, I want you to give just an encouragement to each of them.
Kevin, our firstborn, I want him to know that I love him. And I want to see him find back his place in God. I told him often that I asked God for him, and I gave him back to God before he was born. And I'm looking forward to see him around the throne. And I'm praying that Kevin will give his life back to God. That's what Jesus, plus whatever else he's doing, equals success.
Yes.
So he need to give his life to the Lord. Andrew need to give his life to God and grow his children to fear God. And so Andrew have a soft spot. He's very tender. I'm praying that he would let the Lord lead him. For Dave, I would like to see Dave and his family come back to the apostolic way. He's excelling, and all of them are excelling. But without Jesus, we are nothing. No matter what we gain in this world, if we don't come the apostolic way, we are not saved. And so I want to say to Dave especially, find back the old landmark.
Understand. So I realize that the general theme for the message for each of them is centered around God and reconnecting or, getting closer, so to speak. Anything else you want to add to that? I don't know.
I just want to tell them that and their family that I love them. I love them and I pray for them every day. And it's just my desire. No matter what they get in this life, it's just under the sun.
Yes.
But they need to be ready for beyond the sun. So I would tell them, I want them to all know that I love them, but Jesus loved them best. So they need to give their lives and their family to God.
And our final question, after you're gone, how would you want persons to remember you? Like for years and years after, how would you want persons to remember you?
I want them to remember me as a laughter. Somebody you can talk with. Friendly. One that love God. And don't stand up for foolishness when it come out to God. But kind. And hope to see them around the throne.
Hope to see them.
My heart desire, if I could save the world, I would, but Jesus never did that.
Yes.
So I just pray that as I go along,
yes,
if I could help somebody as I go along, then my living will not be in vain.
All right, Auntie Sharon, thank you so much for spending the time with us to share some of your life experiences. I hope our viewers will learn a thing or two from these experiences. And as you join us again next time, we're just going to ask you to keep safe until then.
Thank you.